You are now tuned in to I Matter Radio, where your choice is your voice. Here's your host, Irena Tenen.
Hello, and welcome to the very first show of I Matter Radio. I am your host, Irena Tenen, and I want to welcome you tonight. I thank you in advance for calling in or tuning into the website to listen to my very first show. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Each week, Monday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, for 30 minutes, I'm going to bring you amazing, phenomenal guests, both men and women, to share with you who they are, what they do, what they put into society, what they've been through. Amazing stories, amazing people. And today, my very first guest, I couldn't have a show without having my first guest. Actually, she's the very reason that I even have a show, period. I actually co-host the show with her since August of last year. I write for her magazine as well. And we also have a brand together called Beautiful You, Authentic You. I'm the Beautiful You. She's the Authentic You. We put that together to make a brand. Prior to her, I never had a desire to be in radio, magazine, or anything like that. So to me, it was appropriate to have the very first guest of my very first show, Nakia P. Evans. She is very, very dear to me. She is hopefully on the line. Nakia, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here tonight. How you doing?
I am great, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you so very much.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Very welcome. I told a little bit about you. I probably could have told a little more and probably could have went on and on and on and on. But I'll let you tell just a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Nakia P. I am an author, single mom, the owner of Authentically You magazine. I am also the owner of Rock Life Broadcasting, and I'm just a simple country, spoiled-rotten daddy's girl, basically. That's it.
Spoiled, rotten country girl. That's how you describe yourself, huh?
That's it. Spoiled, rotten country daddy's girl. That's it.
Awesome. That's awesome. So one of the things that I had mentioned is that your brand is Authentically You. So what is it? What is it about being authentic that is your passion? Why is that you? Why is that your passion? Why is it important for you to help people become authentic?
It's important to me because I know what it feels like not to be. You know, majority of my life, I struggled with basically trying to understand who I am, you know, where I fit, what's my purpose, you know, those questions we always ask ourselves.
Right.
And it seemed that, you know, sometimes people were finding theirs a little quicker than I was finding mine. And so I just kind of struggled with that, you know. I always knew that God had called me for something, but I didn't know exactly what. And not only that, because I was a PK, a preacher's kid, I just really didn't want to, in a sense, really figure it out that bad.
Right.
You know, I wanted to know. I was curious, but then I was afraid. My mom used to give me the scripture all the time, to whom much is given, much is required. And growing up, I could not stand that. But I started to understand that the more God was doing for me, the more he required of me. And you know, and I just didn't want to do it. And so, you know, being masked, you know, being hidden, you know, not understanding who I was, when I finally went through that process and I finally allowed God to heal me, I allowed God to, you know, reveal to me who I am in him and basically show me my purpose. You know, my whole life changed. Everything started to change. You know, he started opening, you know, doors for me, you know, business-wise, ministry-wise, all over all over. And so, you know, it's important for me to help women understand that they can be authentic, you know, that they don't have to live that life, because mine started at the age of 7. And it did not end until I was like 30, about to hit 31, and I'm only 34 right now. So you can tell, like, that's a long time, you know. And so I want to be able to help women do that. I think it's important to know who you are, because you can't do anything. You know, I tell people you can't fulfill purpose. You can't do anything if you don't know who you are. It's impossible.
Right. And I think that one of the things that I love is that you realize what your purpose was and who you are, right? There are people that I know that are my age. You're 34, just a baby to me. But I'm 47. I'll be 48 this year on MG.com, 2 years from 50. And I know people that have no idea what their purpose is. Anytime I pose that question in a group or say anything about why are you here, you know, I honestly don't know. And I feel like I'm just going in circles. You know, I get up, I go to work, I come home, I do this, I do that, but I really don't know what my purpose is, you know. So I think that it's great that you found it. I think it's great that you are living authentically, because we all, at some point in our lives, wear a mask. We all wear a mask. And sometimes it's more than one.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, and sometimes it's fearful to take that mask off.
It is. It really is. You're right. And, you know, I like that you said that, you know, sometimes it's more than one. I tell people that I had a wall of them. You know, and my mom would joke with me, and she'd be like, okay, Kia, so who are you today? And that's because I used to flip that much, you know, because, you know, I truly did know. And so if someone came to me and they're like, oh, Nakia, you can do this, and then I wanted to do it because I was so confused about who I truly was, you know. And, you know, when you are that confused, you know, you have a whole wall of different masks. You know, it's so many because you want to fit in every single scenario. Right. You know, you see this amazing crowd of women, and you feel as though, you know, because you're confused, you feel as though you have to fit there. So then you begin masking, you start pretending, you start doing things that they're doing when you know deep down you ain't got no interest in that. Right. You really don't want to do it, but you want to be seen, you want to be accepted, you want to be loved. You know, you want people to you know, surround you and give you those things that you may perhaps be missing. And that's how I was.
Absolutely. And I think that the main reason that we wear masks is really because we care what other people think. So with these group of people, this is the mask I'm going to wear. And then here at school, I'm going to wear this mask. And then here at home, I'm going to wear this mask. And then at church, I'm going to wear this mask. And then with these people, you know, my family, I'm going to wear this mask. So that is one of the main reasons to me why you need to figure out who it is that you are and to live authentically. Because, number one, it's tiring wearing all the masks and wearing it on AMG.com, wearing all the masks. Yeah. It's tiring. Oh, yeah. And then you get so lost in it that you don't know who you are, and it's to me, it's scary knowing that people do that in all their life. You know, they never get to the point where they take it off. I think that is so scary. That's so scary to me, because it's like you've lived your whole life not knowing who you are. I know for me, I didn't even realize what my purpose was until I was 40. So I was 40 years old. By then, it's like, ain't nobody trying to find no purpose. We had to end. I mean, you know, and then it was funny because when I realized that's midlife, I said, I'm midlife? Look, oh, my God, I am midlife. And it was like, man, you know, some people, 40 years old, you figuring out what it is you want to do? Yes, 40 years old is when I figured out what I wanted to do, because for a long time I wanted to please other people, you know. And I loved being in your book, The Woman Behind the Mask, because I wore one. I probably wore more than one, but the one that I talked about there was the mask of perfection. I felt like I had to do everything right. I can't make any mistakes. I mean, honey, when I was growing up, I was like, okay, I want to be married before I'm 30. Wait, this is what I said. Before I'm 30, I want to have, you know, my college degree. I want to have a husband. I want to have 2 kids. I want to have a house. right?
Mhm.
All before I was 30. So here it is. I graduated college and got married at 22. I had my daughter at 23, my son at 24. We bought our house when I was 29 years old. And to me, that's like perfect. Ooh, I did everything I was supposed to do. Ooh.
Right.
But was I happy? Probably not. Probably not. If you really look back and think, I probably wasn't. Wasn't. It wasn't until I realized what it was that I was supposed to do. And ironically, what I realized that I was supposed to do is things that I was afraid to do.
Mhm.
Right? It
Right.
Speaking publicly. I never would have talked on a radio show where people could hear me in 165 countries. I don't want them hearing me. No, I ain't doing that. No, nope. Then they Google my name and say, nope, I want to be in the background. So it's like, I've always been like encouraging and all that, but it was always kind of like privately. Like I'll encourage you in class or, at home or whatever, but like publicly saying this or that where everybody could see, I never would have done that. And I was never bold. I was afraid to speak my mind. I was the one in class. I'm not raising my hand. Nope, I'm not raising my hand because I don't want no attention on me at all.
Right.
Now, I'm very bold. I'm very bold, and I don't care what anybody does, and I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care what anybody thinks. But it took me decades to get to that point. It took me so long to get to that point. And it's important because it took me so long for me to minister to people younger than me so it doesn't take them as long.
Exactly.
So they can truly walk in their purpose and live their life at an early age. Be happy, be who they are, So with that being said, you said that you're a single mom. So how are you encouraging, I don't even know if you told us you had a daughter, but I know that. How are you encouraging your daughter to be authentic?
Well, really, it didn't actually start until I got my life together. And by that time, she was like, 10, 11, and so, I started feeling bad because I felt like those were things that I was supposed to instill in her at a young age. But then, when you look at it, I wasn't correct. I was confused. So, it was basically if I tried to do it, I would lead her the wrong way. And so once I got my life together, once I got my head on straight and I started to understand who I was in God and things like that, then I was able to pour that into her. I speak over her every day. We pray together, we read together, we do these things together. I create an open atmosphere with my daughter where she can come and talk to me about anything. Like no matter how bad it is, I might have to, close my eyes and say a prayer, but I want her to feel free to come to me because the last thing I want is, first of all, for her to try to hide something because then that's when she's going to start masking.
Yes,
absolutely. She's going to start masking to hide, and she's going to feel like I want, a certain thing from her or certain things from her. And I do, but then I also let her know that I want her to be who she is, who God created her to be. Me, I'm in media, radio, TV, magazine, all that kind of stuff. My daughter has absolutely no interest in anything that I do. She's an artist. She's an illustrator. That is what she likes. And it doesn't matter how much I try to be like, hey, Lyric, I want you to do this. And, that I have to understand and respect what God has put into her, and speak those things that God has already spoken concerning her. And just, remind her of that and constantly do it. And that's what I do, even though, sometimes her art stuff just is not acceptable to my pocket.
Right.
But my thing is, okay, God, will you show me how I can, help push the gift and the talent that you have given her, and because I want her to be who she is, who he created her to be. And I never want her to try to adapt in situations or try to adapt as someone else other than what God has already said about her. He spoke to her, he spoke about her when I was pregnant, when I had no interest, and basically was running from God, he spoke to me concerning that, you know, and, you know, I kind of brushed it off. I was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, once she was born and she got older, he spoke again, and I was still like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. But it wasn't until I started to really understand who I was and my purpose that I was able to not only see hers, but also understand and respect what God had spoken over her. And then, you know, I feel like as parents, once God has done that, he says, hey, this is who she is, it is our job to put the work in to help put that forth. Yes, God can do it, absolutely, but we still have a role to play in that. You know, we have to pray over our children. We have to protect our children. We have to speak life into our children. I mean, my daughter is homeschooled, but when she, you know, she still deals with situations as a teenager. I mean, I don't know. It's like some of the situations I'd be like, seriously, really? But you know, she still deals with those things, and I still have to speak and constantly remind her who she is. And so I feel like that's my job. You know, that's my number one job. So you know, those are things that we do. You know, I just try to push what God has already placed in her and speak into her and speak to her and you know, remind her and basically guide her back to God. That's it.
That's right. That's exactly right. And one of the things that I love that you said is that she's basically different from you, right?
Yeah.
She's different from you, and my kids are different from me, too. You know, and one of the things as parents that we have to do, like you said, is basically, well, you didn't say it like this, but you said it, like nurture their differences.
Right.
You know, because my children, they're nothing like me. Well, my son is. But they're both artsy. They're kind of like lyric in the artsy. They both draw. You know, my daughter's a photographer. She does makeup. My son does music. That's not me at all. You know, they don't like to read. I love to read, you know. So it's like, but I always encourage them. Whatever it is that you want to do, I got your back, and I will help you do it. I don't want you to be like me because you're not me, you know.
Right.
And I think that that's a good quality to have as a parent because, sadly, some parents aren't like that. You know, you know how some people have a child and they're like, oh, my child's going to grow up and they're going to follow my footsteps and they're going to be a doctor or they're going to be a lawyer or they're going to and their child has no interest whatsoever in doing anything like that. And that is one of the first people that we want to please is our parents.
Exactly.
And we always want our parents to be proud of us, right? We don't want our parents to be disappointed in us. So what happens? Typically, we do what they want us to do.
That's it. That's what we do. And
we don't do what we want to do.
No.
Nope. We don't do it.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny because, you know, growing up, you know, like I said, my mom is a pastor, and so growing up, people would see me with her, and they'd be like, oh, my gosh, you know, everything that's in your mom is in you. And I'd be like, no, negative, it's not. I was like, no, it's not. I don't want to be like my mom. And I knew that God had called me into ministry. I always knew that. I just ran from it. But the thing that I love is that my ministry is not necessarily the same as hers. And so even though they may have seen something in me that was in her, you know, my thing was, okay, God, so if you call me to do this, then I would prefer, you know, I really don't have a say, but I would prefer that I don't do all that. You know, not saying that I haven't spoken in a pulpit before, because I have, but I didn't want that to be just my ministry. You know, and the thing about it was, because I was so good in media, I was like, okay, I can use this. This is what I can do. This is where I am. Like, this is my arena right here. You know, and so it's amazing because, you know, people would tell me that, and you know, I would say no, but I still wanted to please my mom. I still wanted her to be proud, you know, and so, you know, when she had, you know, she was doing the churches and things like that, you know, I was there. I was on the praise and worship team. I was praying. I was speaking. I was doing all these things, but deep down, I'd be like, man, you know, I ain't trying to do that.
Right.
Not in this arena, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that's what kids do. They want to please their parents, absolutely.
And, you know, I don't even think it matters how old you are. You always, to some degree, want to please your parents.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's something. You know, I don't care how old you are. It's always like, wow, I better not do that because, hold on, I'm about to be 50. What do I care? Look, I've been in them 5 decades. What do I care? But it's just something about that. Our parents, we want to please them. We want to please them. So I think it's great that we're able to, live our lives authentically, who we are, do what we desire to do. And it's even more rewarding when our parents support and encourage us in doing that.
Right.
I think that is great, especially if we have parents that do that. Some people don't. So you have compiled 3 books. Is it 3?
Yes, it's 3.
Okay. The Woman Behind the Mask, 1 and 2, and Walking in My Identity.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I have them all.
Yes.
And do you have any plans to compile or write your own book?
I do, actually. We're going to do one more, The Woman Behind the Mask, Part 3. Just one more. That's it. And after that, I will be launching my own book. And right now it's set for March of next year because it's my birthday. March of next year, actually, I'm going to be releasing my book, and the title is The Truth Behind My Smile. And I'm going to share, my journey of being masked. And how I would smile and people really didn't know the hurt and the confusion and all the kind of nonsense that was behind it, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to show them that now when I smile, it's a difference. It's a difference from the smile before to my smile now because I know the reason why I smile. Before, I just smile so people can kind of get out of my face.
Right. And
so, yeah.
So now the smile is genuine.
Absolutely. That's it.
I love that. And I remember when you first told me that title. I love that title. I absolutely love that. And I think when people see that on a book, they will buy it.
No.
Some just to be nosy. But some, you know they're going to buy just, what in the world? Smile. What that mean? But I think that I think the title is an attention grabber. Mm-hmm. I really do. And I think that when people see that, they're going to be like, oh, my God. And then when they read it, they're going to be like, oh, my God, that's me. Okay. I think they're going to see so many things in your story in themselves.
And that's my prayer. That's my prayer. And if they want to know just a little bit about it, because actually that was the title of my chapter in the first The Woman Behind the Mask book. That was my title of my chapter that I wrote about, The Truth Behind My Smile. And I had, because when you're doing, collaborations and things like that, like you have to, there's a certain word limit and things like that, of course. Right. And there was so much more that I needed to say about my smile, my smile then versus my smile now. And so God had given me the vision. He was like, you take this chapter and then you turn it into a book. And so if anyone wants to get just a snippet of, that, they can purchase The Woman Behind the Mask Part 1, and then the actual book will launch my birthday month, of course, yay, March of next year.
Awesome. I cannot wait to read it. I can't wait. Wait. And I'm telling y'all now, you need to get book 1. I'm telling you right now, get book 1 because Nakia's story, not only Nakia's story, but all the stories are powerful. All of them are powerful, and they will bless you. And 2, you got to get 2. I'm in 2. You got to get 2.
And while you're at it, go ahead and get Walking in My Identity, so that way you'll learn how to unmask, be authentic, and then walk in your authenticity.
And there it is. You can get those 3 books, and your life is, hey, you got it together now.
Exactly.
I think that is great. I love your brand. I love what you're doing. I love how you're reaching people, the various avenues that you're using to get to people, adults and youth alike. I think it's great. I think that you're reaching a lot of people. But there's so many more people that you're going to reach, so many more with all the things that you're doing. Some people know about, some don't. I know, but They just gotta wait and see.
Exactly.
But it's so much, and I think that is amazing. I think it's amazing. I think it's I thank God that our paths crossed. I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 years, and it seems like it's been longer than that.
No.
But I think it's only been I think it's been 2 years. In August, it will be 2 years. I don't even think it's been 2 years yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thank God that our paths crossed just because I wanted to write for your magazine. And here we are. Here I am, hosting a show. OMG.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited for you.
All because of that connection. So I want to thank you so much for being my very first guest. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to share with us tonight. Let people know how they can reach you. How can they follow you? How can they get the magazine? How can they get the books?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much, Irena, just for having me. I'm truly honored. I am. And if they would like to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Nakia P. Evans. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Nakia P. Evans, okay? If you're interested in the magazine, you can email me at admin, that's ADMIN, at authenticallyoumagazine.com, okay? And also, if you're interested in radio, you can use the same email, or Nakia at Ruach, which is RUACH, lifenetwork.net.
All righty, you guys heard it. You got to get in touch with her. Get the book, get the magazine, write for the magazine, whatever you want to do. Get in contact with. Get it all. Get it all. She is a great person to be connected to. So, you guys, I want to thank you for calling in and listening to my very first show. Those 30 minutes fly by, I tell you. But I appreciate you, Nakia, and I appreciate all the listeners that called in to listen. I will be back again next Monday, every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week we'll be talking about speaking life. So you guys have a great evening, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.